In this video, we are going to talk about why you shouldn't copy $100 million plus brands like Rise, Hexclad, Ridge, and what you should do instead as a $1 to $10 million brand, or even if you're under a $1 million, what you should do instead to scale your business with paid advertising. I'm Jacob. I run 10x Rise, which is a leading creative ad agency working with SaaS and e-commerce businesses, and we help them scale with performance-driven ad creative. Nowadays, the internet is full of experts telling you that you should just swipe the ad strategies from these $100 million plus brands and watch your brand explode overnight with copying what they are doing. And now we're going to talk about why that's a bad idea. One of the reasons is these people have never been in the same room with $100 million brand, let alone built one or worked with one. So they don't really have an idea. And they think by going to the ad library, just seeing what they do, trying to do the same thing, you will achieve the same results. What they don't understand is the levels and the difference in the levels where your brand is compared to theirs, and that they've spent millions on advertising already, that they've attracted a large group of new customers, and now what they are going to be doing is more of a brand play. There might be some performance aspect to it, but it is not as hard performance-driven ads as you might need when you are under a million or in the $1 to $10 million range. And instead, you might be going with more branded ads, going with the ads that are costly to produce, not delivering the results. And also, one of the main things is that they have the budget to test so many ads that you don't have. And so they can't afford to have the losing ads to find out one ad is going to scale to millions. Well, you don't really have that luxury to have 10, 20, 30 different losing ads because it's going to wipe out your budget and you're never going to scale. So that's what we are going to talk about here. Copying what you see from big brands is really like trying to copy a billionaire's morning routine, expecting to be rich by next week, right? The difference is not the routine, or the difference is not the same ad, but with your brand. That's not what scales this brand. So let's address the elephant in the room, why copying big brands fails. $100 million brands are spending millions on paid ads every month, and they're running thousands of ads. What you see in the feed or in their meta ad library, or if you use Foreplay or if you use Ahrefs, what you see that they are running, that's really just 5% of the ads that actually work for them. And you don't see the 95% that burned budget on failed experiments, ad creative ideas that never took off. You don't really see that in the ad account. And that's what you need to pay attention to, is that what you're seeing are what worked, but just copying what worked is never a good plan. I don't say you should never take a look at what they are running. I think it's a great inspiration to give you some ideas and get your creative flow. But really, you should never just copy the same ad, say it differently with the same creator, and expect the same results. Because you need to understand what they are doing, and you need to understand what you need to do at the current stage where you are. And if you run a smaller brand, you don't really have the luxury of burning money just to see what sticks. So that's the main difference here between your brand and the $100+ million brands, where you cannot afford to burn really much money to see what actually works. So let's talk about what actually works. Number one, audience research first. This is where you should start. What do your customers care about? What stops them from scrolling? What they might need to see in the feed on Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, to stop from scrolling. And if you don't know any of these things, your ads are already failing because you are trying to create ads but do not know really who the ads are for. So you need to do the audience research first. Then start with strategic testing. So you don't want to burn cash testing wild creative ideas first. You need to start with proven ad types that layer in creativity once you have, or then layer in creativity once you have a baseline for what performs. So you want to start with the ads that are most likely to perform straight up when launching the first ads, building the foundation in the ad account. You don't want to go with the most creative ideas or starting with, let's say, street interview or like very weird creative ad ideas that have big chances for success and that can scale very well. But the chances and the hit rate on those is just lower compared to the foundational ads in the ad account. So you need to start with those and then layer in additional creativity. When you have a baseline of what performs, you have the additional profits that you can reinvest into testing those new ad ideas. And you can afford to have a couple of concepts dedicated to something very unique to scale even broader. The third point is performance over creativity. If you are in $1 to $10 million range, it is not really the room for trying to be the most creative brand out there. it is the best place to focus on performance and just prioritize that. So cool creative ads are really fun and they get shared on social media, but if they don't convert, they're just expensive art projects that at your stage you cannot really afford to fund. So focus on what actually drives results. The fourth, evergreen ad concept. This is what I like to start with. Ad concepts like 3 reasons why, unboxing videos, testimonials. They've always worked for big range of different brands and different niches, and they will keep working. So this is probably where you should start, depending on the product, depending on which niche you are in. But this, especially if you're doing this in-house, don't have much experience, don't have much data, these might be the concepts and alternatives of these concepts where you want to start to build the foundation and have the foundational evergreen ad concepts, build the static ads on top of it, and have the foundation that is going to deliver good performance, that's going to scale to a certain level where you're comfortable spending that money on, getting some profits, getting new customers, and then on top of it, you want to build more. So we've worked with $100 million brands directly and pushing creative boundaries, testing wild ideas. This is why I know I can share this and what works with smaller brands compared to what the bigger brands are doing and what works for them. And guess what? Not every ad worked for big brands that we've worked with. For smaller brands, really one failed ad can set you back hard. And that's why it's very dangerous to try to go with very creative ideas that you don't have an idea if you can expect them to work or not. That's why you need a strategy that balances creativity with performance. And that's where you want to really put the focus on initially, is the strategy and the performance. You should stop chasing big brand strategies that don't apply to your business. So if you see an ad that they are launching, and whether it's like a podcast style ad, which we've had a good success with for brands who already have the foundation built up, you should not try to like, okay, we need to do this type of ad or we need to do this type of ad. It is great to get inspiration and test, but you need to be aware of what you are testing and what you can afford to test, because there's production costs, there's ad spend you need to put behind it, and there's opportunity costs. Because if you put the ad spend there and it doesn't work, you haven't lost just the ad spend, you have lost some profits that your evergreen ads that you have the foundation with could get you. So focus on what actually works. This should be your priority to scale from $1 to $10 million. And then if you are 10 to 100, you can experiment even more and you can just add additional new creative concepts and you can work with it even more. So it's not like 1 to 10, you shouldn't do anything creative. You should, but you should slowly ramp it up as you scale your revenue, you scale your kind of creative testing, you can spend more money on ads. Evergreen ad formats, strategic testing, knowing your audience inside out is what the main focus should be and where your time should go. And if you're done falling into the copy the big brands trap, we can help you. So just hit the link in the description, apply to work with us, and we'll cover your entire creative production from scripts to filming and editing. We'll build your creative strategy. We'll have a kickoff call in the first week to align on really what we want to do and what is the strategy, how we're going to track the success, and how we are going to evaluate and optimize the ads to achieve even better ad performance. So just hit the link in the description and apply to work with us. And I'll see you in the next video.